get started. Cool. All right. I am in Millionaire Real Estate Agent. I just have a few things that I want to read from here, and then we're going to jump to another conversation. All right. So the 9 ways a millionaire real estate agent thinks. Think powered by a big why. Think big goals and big models. Think powered by a big why, think big goals, big models clearly stood out from the rest of the foundational mindsets that almost all top real estate agents have in common. So let me say that again. What Gary is saying is all top real estate agents have in common that they think powered by a big why, and they think big goals and big models. So go back to the coaching conversation that Dave Costello and I were having yesterday. Think powered by a big why. What's Dave's big why? Everybody that was on the call absolutely gets it. It was crystal clear what his big why is. And think big models and big goals. And did we discuss a model just around one thing, which was leveraging a property that just sold in order to create more listings? Yes, we did. So what does it take in order to do this? Well, it takes consistency. So these are notes that I took from a couple of years ago, and they absolutely apply to today. Lasting success is attainable by all of us. All right, so just stop and think about that for a moment. Lasting success is attainable by all of us. That means 100% of you can succeed at whatever goal you set. Remember, think big, big goals, big models. Gary's not saying think small. And if your goal is to sell 4 homes a year because it's extra money to go on vacation, good for you, 100%. And if this is how you're feeding your family, this is how you're sending your kids to college, this is how you're paying your mortgage, that's not your goal. Think big goals, big models, and whatever that goal is, it is attainable by all of you. However, our tendency is to try something a few times, and if it works, it gets reinforced, and we continue to do it. If it doesn't work, we abandon it. In psychology, this is called the law of effects. We tend to keep doing things we are rewarded for doing. The opposite, however, is also true. We tend to avoid what gives us pain. Although we may not love our life, it is at least familiar. Familiarity tends to breed comfort. In order to get to better, we have to get to different. Different is uncomfortable. If I want to get into better physical shape, one of the ways that I might do that is by getting up early in the morning and going to the gym. Not comfortable. However, until I commit to that activity, and I do it consistently, meaning that after a week, if I step on the scale, I haven't lost any weight, and I'm going to go, this isn't working, I'm done. No, I'm committed to this activity consistently forever, regardless of the results. And until I do that, I'm not going to see any changes. I know the signal's in and out, guys. I'm sorry, I don't know why. If I go to the gym and I walk around and I look at the weights, nothing's going to happen. If I drive by the gym, nothing's going to happen until I go in there and actually push those weights and get into discomfort. I'm not going to grow. It is helpful to view decision-making not as a skill, but as a muscle. What was once labeled impossible becomes reality. Opportunities that once eluded you are now attracted to you. Where you once perceived limitations, you now see possibilities. You go from pushing your way through life to allowing life's gifts to present themselves. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to get a piece of paper. Yesterday we used the GROW model, and today we're going to use positive present versus positive future, negative future. What I want you to do is I want you to write a big cross. You're creating 4 boxes. In the top left box, I want you to write positive present. And in that box, everything that's going well, or everything that you perceive is going well. Remember, because we like comfort, we may put something in that top left box as positive present, and in reality, it really isn't. But we're settling. We're settling for whatever we put into that box because it's comfortable. And because we're gonna avoid pain, we're not willing to break through that ceiling in order to get to better. But for now, just write everything that's positive. Now, I want you to look in that top right box, and I want you to write future positive. And where do you want to be 5 years from now? Where do you want to be 10 years from now? Where do you want to be 20 years from now? And I'm not asking you to where you want to be a year from now, because too many of us over-exaggerate what we can get done in a year, and we under-exaggerate what we can get done in 5 years. And I want you to focus on 5 years. Where do you want to be? And, you know, I'm on social media just like you guys are, so don't go to that thing where it's like, oh, well, 2015, none of us saw 2020 like this. Yeah, haha. Yes, the world is crazy. We got a lot of crazy stuff going on right now. And I'm going to tell you, from where I was in 2015 to where I am in 2020, I'm loving 2020. I'm not one of those people who's wishing this year would go away. I am exactly where I thought I would be 5 years ago. Did I see COVID coming? No. Did I see all this other crazy stuff that's going on? No. However, my life is exactly what I thought it was going to be. Where do you want to be 5 years from now? Don't allow your limiting beliefs to stop you from writing anything down. So if one of the things you were going to write down and you stopped because you're like, oh no, that's just thinking too big, Tony. I'm not going to think big. I can't do that, Phil. That's unrealistic. Unrealistic? Really? That's a word we need to get rid of. If one of the things you were going to write down was, I'm living in an oceanfront home, taking walks every morning on the beach, Alex Kublix, and on the weekends, I am going out on my 48-foot Hatteras to cruise to the Bahamas and hang out in paradise. I mean, if that's what you're going to write it down, because it's possible. I don't care if you're dead broke right now. 5 years from now, that's possible. You are 5 years away from any goal you have. That's how long it takes to get from broke to massively successful. Write it down. What does that look like? Bottom left box. Present negative. Those are all the obstacles that are stopping you from getting to future positive. One of those obstacles could be you're not in coaching. Maybe you're not in coaching because you don't see the value, or you don't have the money to hire a MAPS coach, or maybe because you're comfortable and you've convinced yourself that life is not about money, that you don't need that big house on the ocean. You don't need to go for those walks on the beach. You don't need that 48-foot Hatteras to go to the Bahamas, that you just live a comfortable life. By the way, that's okay. It really is. But maybe you're just settling.
John,
Yes.
would I be able to put down mindset?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Mindset's a big part of this. You know, we have conversations every day, right? I'm going to tell you, the most important person you talk to is you. Your self-talk, pay attention. Bold law. Your subconscious is eavesdropping on your conversations. I know I changed the bold law. Nobody correct me. I know what it is. What are the obstacles? What's between you and future positive? List every single one. Be honest. You haven't mastered your scripts. Every single one of you, write that down, because I know it's true. I haven't mastered my scripts in order to take every single listing I want. I haven't mastered my scripts to the level where when I get on the phone, I'm getting the appointment. I haven't mastered my scripts to the point where I'm out scripting the person I'm speaking to and I'm not getting out scripted. Right? Mm-hmm. List every single obstacle that is standing between you and future positive. Now, the bottom right box is future negative. And future negative is 5 years from now, you are still at exactly the same place you are today. You haven't grown. You're not reading any books, so you're not learning. You're not investing time in personal growth, so you're not growing. By the way, the opposite of growing is dying. So you're just 5 years closer to being dead. Sorry. And your level of success, your level of production is exactly what it was 5 years ago, because if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to get the same results. If you don't remove those obstacles that are in present negative, you're going to end up exactly where you are today. Matter of fact, you're going to end up in a worse place, because when the market shifts, if you don't change what you're doing now, you're going to do half the business you're doing now. Best case scenario. Worst case scenario, you're out of the business. Because what you're doing now will generate half the result at best when the market shifts. It's gonna shift. Yeah, I know, things are hot. Yeah, and it's gonna shift, I promise you. Present, future, negative. Future negative needs to be painful. Future negative needs to be so painful that you will do whatever it takes to avoid that, because psychology, you are more motivated by avoiding future negative than you are by going towards future positive. You just are. You absolutely are. That's why when I was coaching Dave Costello yesterday, we drew a picture of that amazing future where he was going to travel the world and go to all these incredible places with his wife and his children. He was going to have a vacation home on the lake in Tennessee. And then I took it away. And I said, now you don't have it. And I took him to a place that was future negative and parked in pain, to the point where he would feel the pain in order to do what he needed to do in order to move closer to his goal. Because it's about avoiding pain, not going towards pleasure. All right, talk to me.
You want to know what's on our list?
I want to know anything you want to talk to me about, Diane. What's going on here? What are you thinking? How do you feel? Did that conversation fire you up? Did it make you angry? Let's see how many people I lost. Oh, I didn't lose anybody. That's a good thing. Did it? Do you disagree with me?
No, not at all.
Tell me what you're thinking.
I'm thinking that it's a reality check. even though I, think about all these things that I've been writing down, it just, everything, like even when we spoke about yesterday, it just begins with me. How it's gonna be up to me what the future positive and how to avoid or prevent the future negative. It's the bottom line.
Yep.
So the hard part is keeping on the track to get to the future positive. The easy part will be to get to a future negative.
Oh, yeah.
You can allow it.
And most people will. Here, I'll use a biblical reference. Narrow is the gate that leads to eternal life, and wide is the path that leads to destruction. It's an easy path. It's natural.
So, John.
Yes.
So, I've done this exercise before, and earlier in the call, I went to grab something because this is a great exercise. And then obviously you're going to take us to a point where we're, going to actually put those things down, or for me, I'm going to put those goals down that I want to achieve. And I went and I grabbed this book. I don't know if you guys can see it, but
100%.
Yeah. So I had started this book pre-COVID. It was 100-day pre-COVID. And it was the first time where, every single day it was a checkup, and I had a big goal in there. My big goal was that I earned $30,000 every month. And I was so far away from that. And, but I was writing it every day. And it was asking me what I was doing every day to get there. And then every 10 days, it was like a 10-day checkup. And that's the first time I've really done that intensely. So to the point where I realized because of one deal, that actually became a reality. Like I wasn't even sure how that was going to happen, but it's become a reality, at least for the next 6 months. And I realized, okay, so that wasn't big enough. So I just got 2 new copies, blank copies of this yesterday. They arrived. And keeping that negative, like for me, the negative was because the second week of COVID, I was borrowing money from my brother to pay my rent. And so staying focused on that, like for me, the negative is no money, no apartment, relying on Social Security, and having to move in with my brother. That would be like the worst case scenario for me. And I have that in my head. And keeping that image in my head is helping me to not rest on the laurels of the celebration that I normally would keep celebrating. Do you know what I'm saying? So when we,
not only do I know what you're saying, I can 100% relate to what you're saying.
Yeah.
And that feels awful.
Yeah.
It feels awful. And where'd you go? Nadine, you never want to feel that way again.
Never.
You are 100% committed to never feeling that way again.
Yep.
And good for you. Absolutely. And you won't, because you keep that feeling fresh in your mind. You never forget what it felt like. You get up every single day and you pound the rock until you get to that destination that you've said you're going to get to. And there is nothing that's going to stop you.
Not at all. And I highly recommend everyone, if you don't have something like this, you fill it out. It's your book. It's your story that you're writing. It's a journal. It's a way to keep you totally on your goals. I'll share it with you later. I'll give you the information. It's like $9. It's been the best $9 I've ever spent.
Love it. Thank you for sharing.
That's called a 100-day goal.
Pardon?
Nadine, that's called a 100-day goal.
It's called a 100-day goal journal. Accomplish what matters to you.
Nadine, can you do me a favor? Put that in the chat, including
Yeah.
who the author is.
I will do right
And
now.
that way everybody can jump on Amazon and find it.
Okay.
Okay, we've got 2 more minutes. Tell me what you heard. Talk to me.
John, Tamika.
Hi, Tamika.
Yeah, just big old slap in the face.
Hmm.
Positive present, I wrote 3 things. Future negative, I kept going. And I was just like, wow, yeah. It's me. Nobody
Well-
else but Tamika.
Yeah, well, here's the good news, because I can hear it in your voice. That exercise was painful. The good news is, future negative, that's a choice. Just choose not to go there.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to be your reality. Okay? Jim Collins, good to great. I do not deny the brutal facts of my current reality. I deny its finality.
Mhm.
One more.
I'm gonna get a big whiteboard and write this all down and cross off the negatives. So I
Love
think
that.
that's the way to do it.
Love that. Love, love, love that. All right, so I'm going to close with this. For those of you who have children, wouldn't it be a great idea to teach this exercise to our children? Wouldn't that be amazing? Don't you wish that somebody would have taught you this when you were in school? Pay it forward.
Oh, yeah.
Pay it forward. Make it a great day, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank
John.
you.
Thank you, John.